Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for attending the newsletter meeting for the spring summer 2023 issue. So this is call to order and introduction. I'm Barbara Carey, so I call myself the coordinator. I have lovely people who do editing, and I'm always looking for volunteers and proofreaders. I'm always looking for volunteers for that, especially as well. And as well, if anybody wants to help get advertising. So let me just run through what I normally do. I'll hold this up to the screen since you don't have this document, Chris.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, you're the only one on there, so I don't need to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. So what I do
Do you
is,
have another copy of the newsletter?
yes. Who needs one?
You want one?
Have you?
We can share.
Oh,
I've seen
here.
it. I love
It's
it. I
just
think
wonderful.
it's just, yes,
It's wonderful.
amazing.
Yes.
Roger, you should have one.
Should be.
I need to take that up to HMP. So I can get HMP medical equipment.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll talk about advertising probably last, but we'll get there quickly. All right. So what I do every year is I set up a schedule with dates. Usually the whole newsletter process will take about 2 months from beginning to end. So I pass the schedule. Once I come up with a schedule, I pass it by John Haggerty just to make sure there's nothing glaring. I know we have an owners meeting March 11th. So I don't have, and they get quite the, I'm not March 11th, March 13th. Sorry. And so I try to just make sure nothing is falling on that date or shortly before it. So because they get pretty busy. Then the next part of the sheet down here is pretty much the outline of the sections included in the newsletter, and it's front and back. So John takes care of sending out to the major contributors. That's the president's letter. He does an article for greeting your manager. John will pick an employee to do a highlight on, who they are. I probably ask him to do I believe they have a new employee. So, yeah.
The guy that bought my condo.
Okay. All right.
Cool. Part-time. Yes. He loves it.
Okay. Maggie will do a list of new owners since the last newsletter. And then all the major committees. We have Chris will do do a write-up about the website because there's just a whole host of information on the website. And we just want the newsletter. We want it to complement it. And we also have links to it.
And
So
Chris is the
Chris Perry,
website manager?
he is the IT chair
Oh, okay.
and the website manager, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Chris? Yeah.
Okay.
Chris, can we have the senior IT committee?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, my husband, I have a great picture of him talking to Earl Bodman, another old guy. And they have their flip phones out and they're having a conversation. And I labeled them the senior IT committee.
Okay. I bet you get quite a few people on that committee.
Maybe you want to
sorry.
join.
No,
Okay.
I got too much going on.
Okay. And then to highlight just some of the other committees that we want some write-ups from, it lets people know what's going on. We got the landscape building, the swimming pools, security, cluster advisors. We haven't had an article from them yet. And then social activities with pictures. We hope to get pictures because that will be the spring.
Right.
This Spring
Yeah.
Fest. So we'll be able to get something on that in there. Okay. And then typical other activities, book club, bridge, the pool, exercising at pool 6, pickleball and tennis. I haven't been getting write-ups on there. I guess it's pretty much, it's not a regular committee meeting.
Right.
And everybody knows, I guess there's the courts out there. So, but I just learned that Sundays at 4 p.m., if you're a new pickleball player, that's your opportunity to go and play.
Really?
Yes, so I'm
Good
going to
for
put
you.
that in the newsletter because I didn't know that. Somebody happened to tell me.
That's
Yeah,
great.
the
Oh,
other day.
that's- that- yeah, that would
And
be
there'll
good.
be other newbies there. and-
They're all newbies. They should be all newbies. So if you're a
Only,
newbie,
but who's gonna help them learn?
No,
Well,
there
you-
are people there who know how to play.
Oh, they're wonderful.
do you go? Are you one of them that knows how to play?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and I play regularly. Unfortunately, I've had plantar fasciitis for about a month and a half.
Ah,
Just starting back. It wasn't, but anyway,
that's wonderful.
the group, there are two different pickleball groups. There's one that meets on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, and one that meets on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. The Monday, Wednesday, Saturday group is just a general, people in general who have played, who know how to play,
Right.
or newbies who are
Advancing?
graduating to play with, but not that a newbie wouldn't be welcome, but they may,
So anybody can just, is this something now we can put
This
in
is-
as an act?
I would check with
Steve.
I would check with Steve.
Okay.
The Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday group is a much more advanced group.
That's
And I would
great.
also suggest you check with Steve because he's definitely part of that group.
Okay.
And they are very powerful. It's not something that I would recommend to anyone who doesn't know how to play.
But that must be Sunday morning because then
It's
the Sunday
it's
at
Tuesday,
4,
Thursday, and Sunday morning. Yeah,
Okay.
all the ones I told you were in the morning.
is there a time or? I'll ask you.
Sometimes it varies because of the time of day and the temperature and all that, but it's
Okay.
generally starts 8 to 9 a.m.
What if a lot of people show up? How do they?
It gets so crowded right now that
So-
I don't even want to go in the morning.
Well, you
Just
usually-
sit and wait.
Yeah.
Yes,
Very
and you
good.
take turns. Yeah.
Yeah.
A court will open and people will come off the court, which is important that everybody knows. You're supposed to get off the court if there's a lot of people there and give them a chance to get on the court.
That maybe should
If
be
nobody
another side, too.
moves, then you can go back out there. But we've had upwards of 25 people or more, and you can only play 16 at a time on 4 courts. So at peak times, there can be a lot of people there.
Maybe I'll have him see if I can get something out of him about pickleball etiquette. when they
Yes,
pull out
that would be
tables.
great.
Okay.
That
All
would
right,
be
that's
great.
good.
Cool.
All right.
Pickleball politeness.
Is there any
Go ahead.
movement to add more pickleball courts?
That I have no clue.
That's with the grounds. I think that's
No,
grounds.
with tennis and pickleball.
No, but they'd have to do striping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Steve
tennis
might know
would have
about
to-
that. I would think Steve.
Steve and Mark, because you can always.
Well, you're taking from, they're two different committee chairs. Tennis is Marv and pickleball is Steve.
But it's one committee.
Well,
isn't it?
these are actually movable nets.
Yes.
Oh, I know.
And all
Yes.
all you need for the
Is the
existing
line. Are the
tennis
lines.
is the lines.
Yeah.
Right.
I
So,
don't think the tennis court's hardly ever used,
no, I've seen them used,
but not.
But
as-
not
as
not
much
as
as you
much
have
as they
pickleball.
have been in the past. I've been here, this is my 5th winter, and there were many more tennis players when I first came here.
Okay.
They have dwindled to
all right.
very, very few.
All right, so I'll touch base with Steve and see what we can put, a nice little article about the pickleball since it's a big thing.
And I like that
Yeah.
word etiquette because people
Okay.
should know.
Okay.
And others who are doing that, if someone else keeps staying on the court, they
Yeah,
can get really annoyed because it's supposed,
right,
we're during that time period.
right.
And it's so
The
funny.
idea is that everyone who wants to get on the court can get on the court. A lot of times you get tired, you sit on the side, and maybe somebody could play 2 or 3 games in a
Yeah.
row. But it depends on, when you have a lot of people and there's 16 spots at a time,
Yeah.
you don't get too many games in an hour, 2 hours of play.
Okay. now Mahjong's an interesting thing. Mahjong,
Yeah.
since COVID, has been done privately at someone's home.
Right.
So it's not been put in the newsletter. Only put in the newsletter what the unit owners have access to. So, but Roger's wife is also one of those that's been, and so I think that, and I'll find out from, I think Iris Green has been doing it. They might be willing to come back into this room, once a week to play. So I'll follow up on that because I think I'm trying to learn Mahjong. So me and my other friend, she doesn't live in this town.
I've got to get
Dottie.
card tables. Hi.
This is my.
Sorry
former-
to interrupt the
I rode her coattails to the championship ladies tennis.
Oh,
pickleball now.
she's a good
Now
pickleball
pickleball.
player.
Norma and Kay are coming over for bridge for Jean for the first time today, so I'm going to borrow one of the card. Chris said I could borrow one of the card tables.
Take one that has my name on it.
Excuse me.
Now,
Sorry to
and so
interrupt.
to segue, that's a good segue. So for bridge,
Right.
Well, Chris, I don't think you do them in the office. You do allow
Yes.
people to.
No, we do it in the office.
Oh, you do it in the office.
Bridge is in the office. And I recently, someone asked about Mahjong. And because it's being played in someone's home, they felt uncomfortable trying to get involved with it. So bringing it back to the office, I think would encourage perhaps more players.
Right. So I'm going to follow up with Mary Ann Rhines because she mentioned to me they might be looking to come back into the office. So we'll see. If not, I won't be able to put it in the newsletter.
I
So
think the issue they had was masks, COVID protection. Wanting to make sure that everybody who played was fully vaccinated. That's the,
I didn't hear that, but we'll just see where it goes. I'll follow up on it and
Yeah.
see what they're willing to do. Okay, so that really completes the structured stuff. I did have here Judy Wishart ran the craft fair or craft class. She did something with the
class,
craft
yeah.
class. And so I'm going to follow up with her to see if that's something she's going to run every year. That would be nice. And then now the only other structured part is puzzles. So for puzzles, there's a website out there for free crosswords. So I usually pick something from there. We have permission from Crazy Dad. That's a website with a lot of different contributors, and they gave me permission so I have to pick a different type of puzzle. And then unfortunately, Penny Press Publications has not responded to me, and there's one other company that publishes a type of puzzle in the Friday Bradenton Herald. That's really cool. And they're out of Australia, is the original publisher.
wow.
So I had to email them because I wanted something back in time for the newsletter. Have not heard from them. So that's a really cool puzzle I wanted to put in the newsletter. But I always just try to find two different ones. We'll get something. Okay. Now let's talk about special interest articles. So I always like to put a recipe in there. So
Well, I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist,
ooh, okay.
so I could maybe write about, a nutrition topic and include recipes or something.
How about picking a recipe that we can put in?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
But
then,
yeah, I was gonna say it might be really good to have a topic, and I like the idea of having it coordinated with a recipe,
Right.
like something
Well, yeah, some
short.
kind of health
Yeah,
topic
yeah.
that is in the news or
Mhm.
whatever you guys think we should do,
okay.
and then the recipe would, fit in.
So if you look at a newsletter
Mhm.
and you go to the recipe page, which is on page 12. So the current recipe corner, I usually give a whole column to. Are you
I
on
just
page
had my
12?
eyes
Here.
cataract and I forgot to bring my glasses, so I can't see
Oh, okay.
very well
cheese.
there. Oh, cream cheese. Well,
Well, here's my point.
I'm gonna have.
You don't
healthy
have to read.
recipes.
You don't have to read, be able to read it. But what I do is at least for the recipe, I lot the whole column. So how big would your write-up be additionally about nutrition or something?
I can do it short or long, whatever.
Okay,
I can do a short one and see how people like it,
all right.
and do a big one, I don't know.
So
Would
would the
you-
recipe and the write-up take up one column, or do you need a whole page, like one column for the recipe and one column for the write-up? I think a column for the write-up is gonna be a lot. Okay.
Are you
Can I-
short on space?
I'm just thinking of structure. What
Mhm.
happened last time, it's, last issue is I coordinate the whole thing and then there were changes made. And after I'd fit everything where it needed to be and there were changes made, and that really affects moving things around the layout, yes.
Mhm.
And it's very hard, it was very hard. It took me days to kind of figure out moving things around, how to get things back in logical order. So we
So
have a
what's one
plan.
column? Is that like 150 or
Oh,
how many
you,
words is it? Is a column?
do you know how many?
And do we want a picture? My husband's a graphic
Of the
designer, so
recipe.
he could have,
We would like a picture
Yeah.
about that size of the recipe.
okay.
Yes.
Or if it's a topic of, heart disease or something, maybe we want a picture of a heart or something, or,
throw stuff at me and let's see how it looks,
Okay. What
Yeah.
were you thinking?
Well, number one, I'm looking at this column and saying, if you've got a decent recipe, it's gonna take up a lot more space than one column just for the recipe and the directions. If you have a decent recipe.
Yeah, 'cause this is.
Well,
This is
short
really
recipe.
short.
Yeah,
This is
that's a short one.
unbelievably
But
short.
there's a lot of white space too.
Well,
Yes, there
We
is.
could
Yes,
do the ingredients in 2 columns. I used to
that,
do
yeah,
that to
you'd
save
have to have
space.
much smaller font
Does the
to
font
make
have
2
to
columns. Number 2, you could put just a little blurb with links, like say what is the nutrition topic and why it's important, and find out more at something like that. And that would cut down initially on how much.
Or can we give her the
Space.
whole page and she'd be
Give her
doing
the
2
whole
columns?
page.
That's
Well,
why
it's
I don't
up-
know how
and
much
maybe it
write-up
could
you'll have.
vary.
Yeah,
Maybe it could vary as needed.
yeah. Why don't you give me what your idea is? And
Okay.
then we'll see how that fits in. And I can always touch base back with you about, let's adjust something.
Okay.
How's that? I like it.
Great.
Okay.
Like a plan.
So,
Yeah.
so we're gonna be doing. Okay,
That's great.
Lori.
I think that's great too.
So it's a recipe plus, what do you want to call it? A nutrition tips?
Oh, boy.
We'll
Uh,
come up with
what's
something.
the-
I'll just put that in here for
Yeah, I'll
now.
have to
Okay.
think of something that's appealing because,
Something
sometimes
catchy.
you hear healthy eating and.
Yeah, no, then you
People
say,
are
yeah.
Yeah.
gonna turn the page. So something delicious.
Roger's like, can we get on with it?
Oh, no. That's fine. Any pies you wanna put in there,
Good
any
stuff.
cake,
Right.
Oh,
any
you know,
pies,
the
cake.
good stuff.
No, these recipes are delicious. I used to have a column in the Sarasota Herald Tribune years ago.
Oh.
And then I worked for Manatee County and so.
Okay. And it's spring, summer, so something along, when is, yeah, spring, summer. So something that
I mean, it
fits the
could be
season.
fresh herb, cooking with fresh herbs or,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
something.
and maybe some benefits of some of the herbs or where to look online with a link.
Oh,
Sure.
that,
I
Check
would
check
include
the
resources.
herbs.
yeah. That
Check
worked
out
out
these
great
herbs.
because,
Right.
my wife raises a bunch of them and you raise,
I went back to just chives and aloe. They're really hard to keep alive in the summer because of the heat.
Right.
So I kind of.
Gosh, we
maybe
could all
that's why I'm
share.
losing weight,
you know.
feeding me.
Okay, so let's get on to other special interest articles. So profile on a tree. I usually like to ask Jeff to come up with he started out with the hibiscus. He did something last issue.
No, this was the
Did you,
ponds, right?
Right.
did, Tiffany show you pictures of the trees that we found down in Montego Bay?
No,
Oh,
what do you mean?
interesting. I thought it was a banana tree, but it wasn't. But the thing is sculptured all the way out and across. I mean, it really, really looks neat. Mary Ann's got it on her phone. I'll have to get her to
Okay,
show you the picture of that, but that's a
yeah,
neat,
but that's in Jamaica, not here.
huh?
That's in Jamaica. Are you saying there's something here?
Oh, I don't know if there's anything here, but that's in Jamaica.
This
but
is
that
our
gives you-
newsletter, Roger.
I know, but it would be something to look at.
Okay.
Making something like that here.
Page 5. So page 5 is where Jeff, I'm sorry, the grounds, Peter Farron will write up something for the grounds landscape committee. And then the next column over, if Peter doesn't give me more than one column, I think the first issue, I had Jeff write up, he had a nice write up about the hibiscus hedges that we use. And then Tiffany had a great idea for the palms. So last issue, we did the palms. And now we have to come up with something for this issue. So, you know, those big they look like
Yeah,
elephant
elephant
ears.
Yes.
Palladium.
I feel like I'm in the movie Journey to the Center of the Earth where everything's overgrown.
I think they're
The
called
big one?
caladiums, if I'm not mistaken.
Caladiums. So
I'm not
I want to reach out to Jeff and see if he's got some kind of, article about that and how it came to be here or something.
Mhm.
prehistoric plants.
Right. Caladium? You think it's called caladium?
I think so.
Okay. Or
Elephant
I'll put in
ears.
parentheses elephant ear. People are always asking about that plant. Those huge leaves.
Because we allow them to grow and grow.
They just get wild. Like, is it something in the soil or? Okay, so I'll reach out to Jeff on that. Here's another interesting one. I don't know if you know, but Tammy Alborn from Lakeside is an author and she writes romance novels. I think she's got about 3, yeah.
They're wonderful.
So I asked her if she would be interested in, like, if I interviewed her about, like, profiling her, like an author. How did you come to write romance novels? And, it's a pretty interesting, specific type of, genre to be writing about.
Rom-coms.
Okay,
Rom-coms.
rom-coms,
No, I think that's
yes.
a good idea. People are always interested in what other people are
Oh, do
about.
yeah.
Right. I just bought, she was selling them at the last yard sale. So I bought one and I'm in the middle of reading it and it's like, yeah. So I think that's going to be a little special interest article. So on Tammy as an author, our unit owner author. Okay. Pinehurst, it was the end of this, right after the last issue came out, Pinehurst Village had a holiday gathering and they sent me pictures. And I think in the first issue we did, they sent me pictures to put in the newsletter. So that's always fun to do. So I can put that in there about their holiday gathering.
That's nice, because it was the whole, or one carport group.
Yes.
Springdale did that a couple weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Our J, where I'm from, Court J.
Are there any pictures? that
I
we
do
could
not
put?
know because I couldn't make it. We had my daughter and company and we had already made plans before that date, so.
Who organized it?
What the heck is Jean's last name? I don't remember Jean's last name.
It's Cluster what?
Cluster H.
Is it hot in here or is it just me?
Oh, it's, if you want to just flip the first switch there on the wall that you see,
Okay.
right here next to the louvered door. thing.
And I can give you Jean.
You're caught.
Oh, I didn't bring my phone. I have Jean's phone number, but I don't have my phone with me.
We had,
Jean and
there
Donna.
was a double birthday party in,
Oh, yeah.
in Sherwood, and it had some Springdale people, and for 2 friends who were turning 70, like that was a big number, sorry. And we have some riotous pictures, but it's a smaller group.
Yeah,
But it does
I like it.
include a board
You know,
member.
because you know what
and
this
his
does?
And his
Oh my
7-foot
gosh.
tall blow up giraffe.
Was this outdoors
Oh
or
my
in somebody?
Indoors, indoors at Lina, Molly and Lina's.
Is that something you want to, can you give me like a little article on, like a paragraph or two with a
Sure.
picture?
Sure.
I think it's fun when people read about how there are gatherings at different clusters, villages, or whatever.
Right.
More people are like, oh, why don't we have something? Who knows?
I'm
At some
looking-
point, the whole newsletter may be about all these gatherings. Okay.
I'm looking for the Congo line that was led by Norma Rubin,
Oh my God.
who's 92, but I don't, she's not in my, I might be able to get her picture.
Okay.
92.
So we just need to make sure somebody's taking pictures of this coming Spring
Spring
Festival
Festival.
because I'm coming back from my cruise the day of it. I'm hopefully getting here in the morning, and the festival doesn't start till 3. So, I mean, I can try and take pictures, but just in case, I hope other people will. So that would be the Spring Fest. So that's a
I'll
lot of
try.
special
Not a good
interest.
photographer, but give it a try.
Okay. All right. That's a lot of special interest.
What kind of photos
JPEG
are we interested in?
for the
I mean,
Spring
just
Fest.
like people eating, or I mean, I don't know.
Usually getting like, I believe one time there was like a shorter, maybe we can get volunteer picture, like all the volunteers.
Oh, that would be
so
nice.
good.
And
There's
then
so
a bigger
many.
picture of the lawn with all the tables and people sitting and eating. If there's a band, isn't there gonna be a
Oh, yeah,
setup?
the music.
There's gonna be some kind of music. I'm trying to
Denny
think, I
or-
don't remember offhand.
So I
There's
think,
gonna be
I think
music.
that at least those 3 pictures.
I think it may only be a duo who's coming.
Okay, that's.
I'm not sure. I don't
Yes.
remember the details.
We're moving up in the world. It used to just be the boom, the
Oh,
little boom
and there's
box.
gonna be a musical event on the
12th.
12th. And we need pictures of that. Dennis Lee is organizing that.
Dennis Lee.
Dennis Lee. He's
He's,
on,
Wiz.
in Sherwood, gosh, I don't know
He's
the number
he's
of it.
304, 305.
What date did
Okay.
you say that was?
March
Uh,
12th.
March 12th. It's a Saturday, I believe. I
I'll
should
be
have
up
brought my
At
cell phone.
dusk or something.
No,
I think 7:30.
I think that's a
Double
Sunday.
check with him.
I'm
Well,
leaving
it's
on a cruise the
Saturday.
11th.
Okay,
So that's a Saturday.
that
I thought
might be a Sunday. I
12th
thought
is
it
a
was the
Sunday.
12th.
12th is a Sunday.
Okay,
I
around
don't
that
have
date.
it with me,
Okay.
but Dennis is the person to contact about that.
So we have lots of time because all articles and advertising needs to be to me by March 24th.
So there's plenty
So-
of time.
Plenty of time, yes. We just need somebody at that event to be able to take pictures of it because I won't be here. You know, if I were here, I'd run over and take pictures or go to it. But I'm gonna be on a cruise, March 11th.
Again.
Yeah, I know.
who's counting?
Who's counting? Okay.
And the singers are supposed to be very good for that musical event. It's gonna be held in front of the pickleball courts, and Dennis is trying to figure out a stage, and he's ordered some lights.
It's the same
Oh, that would be
location
great for the
as
newsletter.
As the
Yeah.
film,
That's
yeah.
Okay,
right.
wonderful.
I think he has another event later in March that is a Beatles show.
And that's also Dennis.
Right.
So Dennis
Yes,
is the person
yes.
to check for any kind of musical event.
Or
he'll
at
be
least getting
doing-
us pictures and a little write-up.
Yeah,
That's what we need,
yeah,
you know. All right, I'll reach out to Dennis.
okay.
Maybe he can be responsible for the pictures. I don't know if he's participating. That's kind of tough.
He's running.
No, he's running it.
He's running
he's
it, so
putting
he's
it
not gonna
all
be able to do
together.
pictures. Okay,
Um,
all right.
I can ask my husband, because I'm sure that we're gonna be there, and there were other people to ask.
Okay, good, great.
I don't know if he has our regular camera here or not.
I bet he does.
An iPhone picture is fine.
Well, Dennis is doing the singers on the 12th, the music. He's organizing that, the music for the Spring Festival, and then the Beatles he already did in Pennsylvania, and so he's going to show that on the screen that a bunch of us worked on to produce last year to make it.
Okay. Okay. Good. I'm really pleased. We've got a lot of special interest articles. Okay, that leaves us to the last section is advertising. So do we have any volunteers for advertising?
What does that mean exactly?
Usually to solicit. So
So
I
we
have,
go and call on businesses?
what I have here, giving pass one to Roger as well. This is the list of advertisers we had last time. And coming in. So what I can do is I can simply reach out to all the same advertisers I solicited from last time. And I'll check with John on the one he brought in. Maggie gets our CPA in there. And then Roger, you were able to get these other people.
Yeah.
You go, Roger.
Yeah, Roger gets
You
one.
leave,
I took out Table Talk because obviously they just went out of business.
yeah, that's,
Oh, they
that's
did, huh?
Yeah, they
That's
closed
too
up.
bad.
Yeah, well, they're focusing on their space finders
You go
business.
and call in them in person, or you make an appointment, or what do you do?
mostly your friend.
So let me tell you what I do. I have a form here.
Yeah, I need one of those because I gotta go down to H&B.
And this is their receipt. Here, I'll just hand out, oh, that's the master. Here, just take one, paste around. Marge, are you interested in helping solicit advertising?
I'm not
Okay.
really, and I'm leaving in April.
Okay.
So,
Okay. All right, so this is a general, this is a generic receipt so that we don't have to ask Maggie to create a new one every year. And so what happens with some of my advertisers is they want a bill. So I call this a bill. So you fill out the date and the company name. It tells them a little bit about Wildwood Springs and it gives them a link to our website. They don't have access to the full website because they're not a unit owner, but it tells them, what size complex we are. And then where it says your donation goes to, you would fill in there the spring summer 2023 issue. And then a business card. So I'm crossing off, actually, I need to redo this form. We're not going to do full page anymore.
That's good.
Yeah. I mean, Table Talk is not going to be here, so it's a non-issue because they always did 2 pages. I think we'll just do max half page. So I'll redo this form to take out off full page. And I'll put in half page.
Yeah.
We do allow half page. It's just that a full page is, while they are paying, I think, what is it, $50?
Yeah,
That's cheap.
That's cheap. But it does take up a lot of ink because there are full color JPEGs.
yes, a
So,
lot of ink.
Probably charge the same thing for half a page.
yeah, I mean, I'm raising the prices. I think I raised the prices. Let's look at the back of the issue. You look at the last page of the newsletter at the bottom. I was raising the price to full page to $75, but I kind of thought about it. I said, let's just not do a full page anymore. We'll just stick with half business cards and half page. Now, a business card for a resident, if you're a resident of Wildwood Springs, if you're an employee of Wildwood Springs, is $20. And it's whether that business card is front and or back. It's $20. And I'll put in both. I like JPEG, but if they just give you the card, I can scan it. So that's okay. If they're a non-resident, So you're going and you're just out soliciting to a favorite shop you like to go to or something. That's $25, same thing, whether it's front or back. So when I go in, I usually say, I'm with Wildwood Springs, have the newsletter with you. You know, but want to know if you're interested in advertising in our newsletter. For our community, we're a community of 558 units. And this is what it would look like. This because they like to know what they're gonna see. And it only costs this much for 6 months. Because we publish twice a year. So.
Does it say that on the bill?
Yeah.
Let's see.
I think you do.
Oh, actually, it does not say it on the bill. That's very interesting.
Well, your donation goes towards purchase of.
Well, I am saying the
Spring,
spring,
summer.
summer issue.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's good enough.
and you just tell them that there's 2 issues a year,
Oh, I
fall,
think
winter, spring, summer.
Well, you can put the
I think-
shoes.
Well, it's a 2-for-1 that they're buying, really. If they pay $25 and it gets published twice,
Yeah.
so.
No, it's,
No.
no.
Oh.
It's, each issue is $25.
Okay,
So what only we're soliciting for right now is the spring, summer
Okay.
issue.
oh,
I
all
get
right.
it.
Okay. Now, I have had in the past, some vendors, they want to just pay for the whole year. So they're gonna,
Give them a
they're gonna give you $50 because they want to prepay for the next issue. I have had a couple of,
Interesting.
That's
Now,
okay.
do you have that on there?
Prices
but I would
might
need
go
to, I
up.
would need to know that. So
Yeah. Too bad that you don't have it right on the form.
now
because
I
they
do
could-
have a log. So
Uh-huh.
if you're going to be soliciting, helping out, I'll give you a log that you can use. And this way, here's where you would tell me that they're prepaying for a year, like how much you collected, $50. So. Give that to her.
Debbie Dial, did she advertise?
Yes, her ad is, see, this is a matter of had to move things around. So she got moved up to page. She's in the middle of somebody's.
I like how Liberty took a whole page there.
Well, see, that's gonna be tough telling them you can't do a full page anymore. Here, she's on page 14.
Oh, my goodness.
So this was the page
Oh,
that,
Yeah, she doesn't have a
uh,
picture on
That's
that.
a weird ad.
Very strange.
what's strange?
It's just something you would glance right over and not look at.
And it
Yeah.
looks like.
But
makeup.
this was the
This
the
is what
char-
she,
charitable giving was a new section we had last
Oh,
issue.
okay.
And this is what the one that gave me a hard time. So, but what was the other charity? Turning Point.
Turning
So I'm
Point.
wondering if I should drop St. Joseph Food Pantry and add in Turning Point.
yeah, but that's the ones, those are the two, Turning Point and Hope that they're doing for the Spring Festival.
Correct. So if you look at 14, charitable giving was Hope and St.
Yeah.
Joseph's Food Pantry. So I
Yeah.
think we should drop St. Joseph's and add in Turning
The
Point.
only thing
But
that
we
I was
always
criticizing
do.
was this
Is it?
advertisement is useless because it does not really showcase her and her work. It's something you would just go turn the page. You could read all of this and pay absolutely no attention to that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she
That's
really
up to
should
her.
have there should be a picture of her. There should be
Isn't that her
something more.
business card?
That's
I
her
think-
business card.
Is it?
Yes.
I think it is.
It
I
is,
think it
of course
is.
it's a
That's-
business
that's
card.
her.
That's what she gives me to put in there.
Yeah, well, I guess she thinks it works, but it really is not eye-catching.
It's
It's
worse than
probably
I-
the thing
That's up
that,
to her.
yeah, I
up to
know,
her.
I understand what you're saying.
If you know her, she's a very quiet, mild
Yes, she is.
person. So,
I only have met her recently,
yeah,
so.
she lives over in, or is a
Sure.
unit owner in Woodlawn.
Knock on her door
No,
and say, I'm
no,
here to take
she's
a
a
picture.
unit
Excuse me?
owner, but she
You can knock
lives
on her
in
door and
Charlotte.
say, I'm here to
Well,
take
she
a
lives
picture.
in
Yeah.
Woodlawn, Yes,
Yeah.
she's
but-
renting Woodlawn now.
Debbie is?
She's renting out Woodlawn, her unit that she
Right.
owns in Woodlawn. She's renting it
Oh.
out.
But,
Yeah,
and
'cause-
this St. Joseph's should be in the fall issue, because that's when we give to St. Joseph at
Correct,
Christmas. So
correct.
this is,
So
Just
we'll
pretty
we'll
easily.
keep the Hope in, and we'll replace St. Joseph's with
Turning
Turning
Point.
Point. And
Yeah,
Chris,
I'll get
were you-
Chris to,
were you the one that, I don't know if it was Chris, oh, Marty. Chris, you were the one that was familiar with St.
Yeah.
Joseph's?
Yes,
So we're gonna, since that is more of a holiday, the Christmas,
Yes. right.
we're gonna replace that with Turning Point.
Yeah, that'll
Because
work.
and
Okay, good, thank you.
well, I'll ask Patty and Shannon to get an article in about turning points. How's that?
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
The other thing is that because the Spring Festival is earlier than the articles are due, you can probably update it, get some information about what donations were made or collected or whatever that were given to the two charities from the Spring Festival.
Who knows that, Pam? What did you say
Cynthia
you were
will
gonna do
know.
right before it? Because I was writing this down.
Yeah,
Well,
because
to have a write-up about.
You're gonna do about Turning
Points.
Point?
I'm
Okay.
gonna
Oh,
ask
you know
Patty
what?
and
I think it's the
Shannon
same
Jones, 'cause
date.
they work there.
Okay,
you know what it is? I think it's the same date. Isn't the Spring Festival? Oh, the Spring Festival is the day after. I was
it's the
thinking of the
18th.
music.
It's March 18th.
And
is
the
Spring
articles are due
Fest.
the 17th. You might be able to just update
I
it
can-
before publishing.
I can get,
Just
as long as I
this
get
year.
something.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
leave a
I'll get it.
placeholder for how much we collect.
Right.
Yes.
So that the
yes,
size of the article really won't change. I'll just fill in the blank.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're going, but who you're gonna reach out to get how much is collected or a write-up?
A blurb about turning points.
Okay.
Not everybody knows about it, but
I did it.
they both volunteered there. It's a
Mhm.
wonderful,
Organization.
yeah, that
Yeah.
I'm sure the county supports.
Is it that they told Pam, like I only heard this from Pam for the first time at the board meeting, that the raffle, the 50/50, the 25/25/50 is gonna include Turning Point.
Yeah.
I don't know, so I don't know where she got that.
It used to go to, used to always go just to Hope. But I thought, why not give Turning Points a shot? They need money as much as abused women. This is all homeless vets and homeless people and kids and
They're doing 25/25/50. So 25
no,
will
25,
go.
25, 25, 25.
Oh, that's right. They're doing, the two people are gonna
Right.
get 25 and then 25 to Turning Point and 25% to Hope.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
But Hope makes out at Christmas and at the Spring Fest,
Mhm.
always.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay. All right, let's just to recap then.
Could I just
Oh,
mention one
yes,
other
yes,
thing?
yes.
Because I was at the meeting that Cynthia held about the social, the Spring Festival and all that.
Okay,
And there is a proposal, which I think may come to fruition, that we may have an art show in November, the beginning of
arts and
November.
crafts,
Arts and crafts.
that's,
Is
yeah.
that what that is on here?
I thought
saw
that
something.
was the
That's future
other
craft
activities.
fair. Oh,
Yeah,
see, I didn't know that what that meant.
well, that was, Judy ended up turning that into a craft class, I believe.
That's all it was, a
Yeah.
craft
Okay.
class.
No, this is to have vendors or people
People
who,
here who are artists. or
yes,
craft
and possibly others. But whoever it was who suggested it wanted to have it on the courts during
was
the
Jan
Spring
Rad-
Festival,
yeah,
and
no,
that
no,
will not happen.
happen.
Because you're not gonna have tables, you're not gonna have chairs, you're not gonna have people without sneakers on the courts. So they're talking about having it in the beginning of November and have tables in the grass, like under tree, where
Right.
you could get some shade and keep
Right.
the items in the shade. And I think that might work out. And
It's
we have quite a few artists
And
So,
craft-
okay,
and craft people in
Once-
Wildwood
once I
Springs.
hand off the newsletter, that's April 10th.
Mm-hmm,
So I usually plan another newsletter 6 months later.
okay.
So
Because you're
that
gonna
would be,
let people to,
well, that would be October.
yeah, because they're gonna, I'll ask, I'll.
Oh, we can
ask
put a heads
Marilyn
up. We can put a
Hinman.
heads up.
Oh, a heads up, that's what I think. So you may want to call Cynthia and ask
Okay.
her about that. And put in a heads up, and if somebody's
Okay.
interested in Wildwood Springs, they could contact so and so.
Good. And then,
right? That's what I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
yeah.
They can start thinking about what they're going to have there if they want to participate. And this way they have a heads up, and so do Cynthia and whoever is going to organize it. How many people are interested, or how many people they might get. Is it a doable thing even?
yeah,
So
so
with
even
number that
the
you
fall,
have,
winter issue is gonna be
gonna be
coming
late.
out before.
Yeah,
But if we could have a more, instead of a heads up, it's more, don't forget.
yes, yeah, and
Okay.
it would be nice to let people know ahead. Yes.
Right.
For the, sometime the beginning of November, they were talking before the holidays, so people could bring Christmas crafts that they've made, or,
So it's just residents?
that I don't know. I don't know how that will work, but,
Do
I
they
don't know.
sell
Be
the
determined.
That's a different
the
committee.
booths?
It's a
Oh,
different
okay.
committee.
yeah, it's a different committee, and they
Okay.
have to figure all that out.
Yeah,
Um,
because the social.
I'm willing to
committee-
help out with it, but I'm not,
Yeah.
because I only get here in the middle of October.
Yeah.
So,
the
All right, I'll
social
talk to
committee
Cynthia.
has very little money left.
yes, yeah.
Because they do such a blowout in this, at the spring fling. So
Yeah,
this has to be low maintenance.
Well, I also
But I think-
suggested to them, since they were talking about donations and all that, that they might sell drinks and hot dogs or something
That's-
there, and then they could make some more
Right.
money for donations or whatever
Like the
is
way you
needed.
think.
They
Yeah.
can charge $10 for
Well,
a table.
They
Right.
will figure that out.
that's like
You
the
know, I'm here to
advertising.
help, I'm here to,
This advertising
2
pays for
cents
this
in.
newsletter.
yes, yes.
That's how that works. So
Mhm.
the more advertising we can get. Do you have ideas on who you are going to be soliciting to?
I just thought if, I'm going about my business, I could, I take my dog to the vet or something, I can ask them, or
Great.
in the neighborhood, but
Yeah. That's how I got
Yeah.
the woof. My dog goes to that daycare. He's
Oh.
there now, actually. He's like, send me a bill. Like, okay. So, yeah, exactly. Going about everyday life. Eli, the bakery place used to advertise the first
Oh.
issue. And I went to them for the last issue, and they decided not to. I was like, okay, that's a little weird.
They're probably struggling.
I don't
I don't
know. I don't know.
Hmm.
So Roger, I'll get you some forms because I'm going to change this form to drop the full page.
Okay.
And I'm going to put half page on here. Because I think maybe some of the people you get, or no, or was it just table talk?
It's just table talk, yeah, full page.
Okay.
can you email me the updated form as well?
Yes, I
Yeah.
will.
So
Yes.
I'm new to this side of town, so I'm not, I don't know what's around here, but as I go around, I'll.
Yeah, yeah. Because I always even tell them, like, when the newsletter used to be regular, I would always look in it to see for business cards, like, because this is people's recommendations.
Right.
These are, like you said, these are places that you would use. These are places I would use. And Roger, I know all the ones that you get are from people that you encounter and you use. So they're kind of like, wow, we don't say, these do come by word of mouth, people who use. So I don't know about Bradenton PC repair. The guy died that I used to.
How
Yeah.
about, Tommy Tech, Toasted Tech?
So Toasted, they didn't advertise last time.
That's who they
Maggie
use.
used to get. They didn't advertise last issue. The first issue they did, not last one. So, yeah. So I'll reach out to my Bradenton PC repair and see if the guy
I'll reach out.
The
to
partner.
Tom.
still wants to advertise.
I'll reach out to him.
I would believe that they do, because Mary Ann took her laptop down, had them fix it. It was after the guy had passed away.
Okay.
And so I don't know if
She was
mentioned
still
it.
happy with them? I mean,
Oh,
only
yeah,
because
that's
guy
the
that
best place I
died-
ever found.
the guy that died, Naz, I've been there twice over the years. and he didn't even look old at the time, but,
Well, he
and
was a very.
he verbally, he talks to you about what your problem is. And he says, oh, all you need to do is this, this, and this. And you're out the door. I didn't charge a dime.
What is the name of this?
Bradenton PC Repair. So
Braden? Okay.
if you go
Because I've
down,
never heard of it.
if you go down 34th Street
Yes.
and make a left on Florida Boulevard,
Uh-huh.
go all the way up to 41. At the light, go straight through across 41,
Yeah.
and there's a 2-story little strip of
Yes.
stores.
Oh.
They're in the first.
That's where my husband took his.
Yes, Bradenton PC Repair.
Okay. Yeah, my husband took his computer there and
Yeah.
they straightened it. We came back and it had been hacked while we were gone, I guess. I
Oh,
don't
wow.
know. So he had such problems with it.
So he's on there. So they're on my list. So I'm gonna. Lucky Frog complained that their ad, they didn't like the quality of their ad. So they gave me a PDF. So I did this little, I just targeted PDFs and people who sent me PDFs as their business card. Once you put it into publisher software and then you're converting publisher software to PDF, it does change the quality.
Oh.
So I told them they could go in the next issue for free. I felt bad, but I'm gonna have to ask them for a JPEG. I'm not gonna take a PDF because I end up with the same problem and I don't want them. I mean, it's not horrible, but I do get what they're saying.
It's not clear.
Yeah. So that's Lucky Frog.
Okay. I
Okay.
gotta go.
Anything else?
I have a question.
Yes.
On where you got a few reminders, I don't go on the WWS website. I think Mary Ann does. I have noticed that. The one thing,
Barbara,
Yes.
my wife Kathy just suggested that you might want to contact Detweilers.
yeah,
Since they're coming to our neighborhood, they might put a nice ad in.
All righty.
Also Mean Beans, isn't it?
Mean beans.
Yeah.
Have you been to Mean Beans?
Yes.
She likes the
Some other.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry. Roger was in the middle of speaking.
on where you got a few reminders,
Okay. What page are you on, Roger?
15. And it says, complete rules and regulations, please visit the Wildwood Springs website. I think that we need something in there to alert the residents when they're walking, that they walk facing the traffic,
Yes. And
And
keep
to wear light colored clothing at night.
Excellent, excellent.
Like-
Because I don't drive at
reflective
night.
/ reflective, right, clothing?
Huh?
Light colored / reflective clothing would be good.
So
Yeah.
in the issue before this past one, there was a whole section about the walkers. We put in the walking, how many miles you walk, and the
Yes.
fact they need to walk against. There were reflective vests still available in the office. I should check with Maggie. So I can put that back in.
You know, but it's something, I mean, you know, when we go to table talk on Thursday nights and it's dark coming up, invariably, people are walking with the traffic and they're in totally black clothes. And
But
I
I
can't see them.
I find they don't care either when they hear a car coming. They just rely on you seeing them.
Mm.
It's scary. Any of my friends, like, they've never been in this complex. I always warn them, make sure you just drive slow. People are not always going to walk against the traffic. We don't have sidewalks, so
But that
be
might
careful.
be, you know, something about walking, facing the traffic and wearing light colored clothing at night.
Okay. Usually most of the reminders, I sit with John Haggerty because he has a feel for what's the hot topics, but I'll add that in as well this time.
Because that, I mean, it's impossible. I mean, yeah, we've got some lights along there, but really spaced out.
It would be nice to have sidewalks.
Yeah, that's not.
I
gonna
know,
happen.
they've talked about sidewalks before.
Yeah,
It might also at some point, if you have room, to put a list of things that are surprising in the regulations. So be sure to check like door color, this thing, that, like what, do you know what I mean? It's like, I actually have someone on my court who has been living here for 12 years and didn't realize that they weren't allowed to have a white storm door on their condo. And I'm like, I'm here 5 years. I knew that right away. But have you seen a white storm door anywhere in here? It's they're supposed to be brown or bronze.
yes, Claire Dewhurst has one on her back door.
A
but she-
back door.
she's
I'm
in-
talking about
and
the front
she's in a
door.
courtyard, so I don't know if that
That's
makes
different.
it legal.
No, I think that's okay. But we have, I don't know what color our back door is because I hardly ever go back there. But I was just surprised because this is their front door.
Yeah.
And they bought a white storm door and it was like,
Uh-huh.
oh, it is? And they're living here 12 years. I was like, this is crazy.
I
That
What
would
would,
about-
notice something like that.
I know when you replace your
Oh, I
windows, if you replace your windows, the outside must stay brown.
yes, brown or bronze. Some places call it bronze. Because I checked with Maggie about colors
Yeah.
myself.
Well, I think any major change to your condo, people should always be checking with the
Yes,
office.
maybe
Maybe
that's all
that's a
that you
simple
need.
statement, right?
Yeah.
What's up, Roger?
What about Rod putting that, entrance door in with big glass in it and everything?
Did that meet the new criteria? Because there are new rules for the door.
I don't
For the
know.
door.
Oh,
I
maybe you
don't
need
know.
to do that. The new rules. Don't miss the new rules on doors.
Right.
Might even want to put that in there.
Okay. Good stuff. We had a lot for this issue. I was kind of worried if we didn't go with full page ads, we'd be, but we got a
I
lot.
think you can.
We're gonna have a lot more content. Yeah.
Yeah.
There is one more under special interest. I got pictures of it. We had a hawk was on the ground
Yeah.
behind your unit, and we called wildlife.org. Marianne did, and they came out, and I got pictures of the hawk and the volunteer, and they took the hawk. So I'll do a little article on that.
I didn't, I never followed up, or Mary Ann didn't find out if they was able to,
Maybe we can still
Maybe.
call them and find out if there's.
find out, cause I thought it had a broken wing. And then the guy that come out to pick it up, he looked and the eyes were fogged over and stuff, and he said,
Oh.
oh, that's
Cataracts?
West Nile
West Nile.
virus.
Oh.
He wasn't sure, but he
He
thought.
wasn't sure,
he
but
thought
he
it.
said that's exactly what it looked like,
Wow.
so.
Okay. Cool. Very good. All right. Well, anything else before we close? We were here an hour. Wow.
Ooh.
Whoa, wait. Thank you, Chris, for recording. All right. So we'll close and do you want to meet again so we can touch base how we're doing? I usually don't have a second meeting, but I might just reach out for people now that I know who's going to be working on what.
I would suggest a second meeting.
Want to do a second meeting? So what time frame do you want to do the second meeting?
What would
say-
you do at the second meeting?
The only thing I do is a week before the articles are due. So if you look at Friday, March 17th, I review the status of all the standard articles with John Haggerty. If I have not, just to make sure he's aware, because he's the one that reaches out to the committee chairs to do those articles. This way, if anybody's forgotten, oh yeah, I need to write an article,
A
You'll
week
remind
after
them.
that, would that be sufficient time that we could then take a look at it, check up on all the advertisers?
So, or even advertising, I need advertising by March 24th.
Yes.
So you're talking about meeting a week before March 24th. Same thing what I do with John is just touch base.
You threw me a curve there.
Go at the top of the page. Yeah. I mean, Roger, what I usually did informally with you is because you're next door to me, I kind of went over to you and said, okay, Roger, I need your advertising by the end of the week, you know.
March 24th is Friday.
That's a hard date for me because then I start working on the weekend to start pulling things and laying them out and getting them in. I mean, technically, as edited articles are being given to me, I slot them in. But it's all the advertising and special interest articles that are all going to be, they're all new. So I have to usually play around with spacing. So March 24th is my hard date. I don't want
Wow.
anything new after that.
Do it before. After
Well,
March 17th.
how do you feel? You want to
before
touch
the
base a week
24th.
before?
Up to you. I don't
It
know what
seems
I'm.
like I don't need to.
I don't think,
Yeah, I don't
that's
think
why I didn't
need to.
usually.
Yeah.
I don't,
Okay.
okay. Usually I'll just touch base with John because he controls the getting articles out of the committee chairs. So
All right.
everything else is special
I just come
interest,
next door and
advertising.
ask you.
Like, yeah, I know where you live. I know where you live. All right, everybody, thanks for coming. And I'll get you the new form that you'll need for advertising.
Okay.
Okay. All right, thank you, Chris.